Hi guys.
Your show now. One of your important instructions.
What's up, y'all? Let's go, man. All right.
We are reconnecting you now.
We got something for y'all. Yeah. Urban therapy with Sun, and it's okay. We gonna do it till it's done. The fun that we have, we go back and forth, and we share a lot of information, of course. But it's Sunday, and it's time for us to play. And we're gonna do it in a certain way, living together without being together. Can you do that? We're gonna talk about that at this particular time. The rhyme that I'm gonna spit is gonna let y'all know that I'm down with it. Actually, I'm not. Never did this, but it's kind of crazy. You live together, but you don't kiss. Living together without being together. You know, you might be surprised to find out that this happens more often than a lot of people think. You know, every time that a couple breaks up, they aren't always in the financial position to be able to get their own place. Not right away. So sometimes a couple might get divorced, and they may have been going through divorce proceedings, and there could be some haggling over who should get what, and whose house the place might belong to, and they might be at a stalemate and a face-off, and they say, I ain't leaving, but I ain't leaving either. But so this is what we going to do. I'm going to take the place downstairs and maybe even the garage. This is a barrage and crazy stuff that is on to come, but we gonna do this thing because I really ain't the one. You ain't taking all of my stuff, no pictures, no albums, no CDs. Yeah, this the way it's gonna be. I'm taking all my stuff with me and the kids. Yes, the KIDs. Word. Well, some people might look at it like, well, actually, instead of, people talk about staying together for the kids, we actually live that. We together for the kids, but we together for the kids in the same house. We just not together. Now, I've seen this play out. I don't know about y'all, but I have seen this scenario play out, and we're going to get into this thing. That's real, no doubt. So sometimes people are aware of a couple's situation, their living condition situations like this, and a lot of times it's like on the low. Like, don't nobody really have to know what's going on with me and you. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to work. Y'all know how it is. At your job, most people don't want their co-workers to know their marital status when their marriage is in shambles. Basically, it's like a mind your business situation. So a lot of people will get married, and they'll let everybody at the job know that they are either married when they started working there, or that they got married after they started working there. But when it comes to getting separated, divorced, and all types of marital problems after that, that your business is your business. And I have nothing but respect for that. But this is one of the situations that can exist while you are trying to keep the details of your personal situation on the low. So let's get into it. Get involved. Let's get into it. Get involved. Let's get into it. Get involved. These puzzle pieces right now, we gonna solve. It's like a Rubik's Cube. Yo, YouTube, we do this thing for me and you, and it's gonna go down. We gonna share this information. We gonna do this thing without no frustration, because I don't know if this is the thing that describes your living ways, but I know that this is something that happened not just now, but way back in the day, and we gonna talk. Let's get it going talk. Let's get going talk. Let's get. Urban Therapy with Sun 752. This is the Urban Therapy with Sun show. We do this every single Sunday from 1 p.m. till around 2:30-ish. And the reason that we say 2:30-ish is because sometimes it gets so heated that we just have to do a little OT on a Sunday. And it is a Sunday. This is the show where adults come out and play with other adults. We laugh, we cry, we argue, fuss, and fight, go back and forth with each other, bust it up all crazy. We take an introspective look into our own personality to see the way that the universe projects us into this thing called the world and try to figure out this thing called life. I'm your host, Sun 752, aka Omar with the and if you can't say Omar with the well, then you just say Omar with the R. This is the Urban Therapy with Sun show. I'm feeling like a real man should, and I hope y'all feeling like real men and women should also. So we're talking about living together without being together. How can you do it? Some people say that it can't be done. A lot of people will tell you that it can't be done. You ain't gonna tell me that two people are living under the same roof, sleeping in the same bed, and they not together. What kind of not together is that? Well, they may not be sleeping in the same bed, but to be honest with you, I've known situations where they actually were. And you talking about a 1-bedroom apartment and one person don't want to sleep on that couch or that futon or whatever. It's like, well, I'm not sleeping on no couch. Well, neither am I. And I bought this bed. Well, I don't care who bought the bed. I know I'm not sleeping outside of it. So until we get this money together to be able to, for both of us or one of us to move out, this is what it's going to be. So you sleep on your side of the look. This is a queen size bed. You know what I think is funny? I know a lot of single people that have king size beds. But I know a lot of couples who live together who only have a queen size bed. And is it just me? Because I'm like, honestly, once you get a king size bed, you start insisting on it. Like, yo, I need all this room. I need to be able to sleep at the head of the bed, the top, the foot of the bed, the corners of the bed, this side of the bed, east, west, south, north. But it seems like a lot of married couples that I know, they have a queen size bed. I don't know any. Well, I was about to say I don't know any couples that have a king size bed, but I mean, I can't say that. It ain't like I've done tours through people's bedrooms, but when the conversation comes up, a lot of people say that they have a queen size bed. All right. Anyway, that's what we're talking about today. How can a couple be living together? A man and a woman living together in the same house, possibly sleeping in the same bed, but definitely sharing the same bathrooms, unless it's otherwise possible. Same kitchen, the same closets, possibly. Maybe they share a lot of the same shareable items, but they say that they're not together. No, we were or are still married, but we're not living together as a married couple. Our divorce proceedings have not finished yet, and I'm not giving up my house. I'm not giving up my stuff. And unless the judge says that he can have it or she can have it, I'm staying here where I know it won't get messed up. If I move out of the house without taking all of the stuff, and I might not be able to take it all, and I ain't paying no storage fees. No, I ain't doing none of that. And honestly, I've seen this situation play out to whereas they like one or both of the people in the couple, the supposed to be broken up couple, separated couple, both of them are seeing other people. Now you can imagine what type of strain, the kind of strain that will put on a relationship that's trying to blossom, that's trying to get its feet off the ground. Like you telling me that you and your husband are divorced or are getting divorced, but y'all still live in the same house? Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. I ain't gonna front. I've actually seen this situation. And my feelings on it was like, there's no way I can get serious about this girl. Because this is a little bit too unorthodox. But it happens. It happens. And in most situations where a situation like that exists, they're not going to allow anybody that they're messing around with to come over the house. But sometimes they might. Like they may not let them come and hang out over there because there's no good that can come out of that I can think of. X or no X. But they might, allow them to come pick them up at the house. Yeah. Just when you get to my house, just beep the horn or call me from the car and I'll come on out. I think it would be unwise to, I don't know. don't sound like a good look to me, but it goes down. If y'all would like to talk about this topic, if this involves you or involves a situation that you have any information on, I invite y'all to call in. And the number to call is area code, code 319-527-6199. That's the number to call. I said a 319-527-6199. Yes, y'all. I said a 319-527-6199. Yeah, get on the line. I said a 319-527-6199. Yeah, get your shine, baby. Get your shine, baby. 319-527-6199, baby. It's the Urban Therapy with Sun Show. And I see that we have a call on the line. Call with the last numbers, 4828. Let me see if I can get you clicked in on here. See if I can get you clicked on in. Welcome to the Urban Therapy with Sun Show. Thank you for holding. What's on your mind this afternoon? What's good?
Good afternoon. This crazy predicament is what's on my mind.
Okay. All right.
Ooh, this is loaded.
What you know?
It's loaded.
What you know?
I've been through it. I've had to do it. When my husband and I asked for divorce fall 2016, and he said, "Oh, I can't afford to move out anywhere." And our children didn't know, they didn't know a life without having both parents in there. So we made an agreement. The house was big enough where we could literally live on two different floors, because the house has like 3 floors, and so we were not in the same bed at all. So we were like, okay, this is going to be a good, easy transition. We try to make the transition smooth for the kids. That went on. Probably, you mentioned dating other people. I started dating somebody probably like 6 months later. Did not bring the person to my house at all. He had some chick picking him up from the house. I think he was trying to get under my skin. Didn't really give a damn. But that's one of those, things that makes a situation like that didn't have to be messy. It makes it messy. Fortunately, I'm level-headed, so I didn't even really give a hoot. As long as she wasn't disrespecting me or coming inside of my house, I didn't really care. But come to find out, dude did have some place to go. So the woman who was picking him up, that's where he was living most of the time anyway, which led to the divorce. So he did have some place to go, and I found out he had 2 properties, 2 in the city and 2 and 1 out of state. So he was just saying he didn't have a place to go because he was trying to buy this time and save money or whatever, because I was covering all the bills. The situation's like, but I do that again? I don't think so. Like, it would have to be, no. I can't see myself doing that again. Like, the person and I would have to be really, really close, and it would have to be an extenuating circumstance. But I'm never going to do it again where there's so much tension in the home. It wound up being, it wasn't even best for our kids, and that came directly from our children, where they came to me and said, "Hey, why is he still here?" And I was like, "Well, I'm doing this for y'all. I'm thinking that this is the best thing, transition." They were like, "No, we need to rip." They literally said, "Rip the Band-Aid off." And please ask him to go, because he's too intense. There always seems to be an issue, and we really don't feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, yeah,
it's heavy.
It's a definitely heavy situation, because just like you said, there were children involved here. You know what I mean?
And 2 decades.
So we're talking about children and history, and people nowadays try to brush that off like it shouldn't matter when things go bad. And in the heat of the moment, of course, you're going to say it don't matter. But when things come out, when life has to be lived, 24 hours at a time. Well, actually, second by second, minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day. You know, you start to you realize what you're really facing when you're dealing with life's challenges. Getting together, getting together in a relationship that will eventually develop all the way into marriage. That's already an emotional journey right there. But to stay together for for years and years, possibly decades or whatever, and see it all come to an end. It's not like it comes to an end overnight, and it's certainly not like your emotions or your feelings for somebody or the situation on the whole are just going to dissipate overnight, regardless of what they say on the internet. But when you have to, but one thing that I understand about pain is that it makes it way more painful when you're unable to escape it. You know, when something gives you pain but you don't have to look at it every day, that's one thing. But when you have to stare the source of pain in the face every day, and you kind of see that source of pain developing, building, and creating and producing more pain, it's like, woo, that's
You ain't never lied.
it gets heavier and heavier.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's so true. Like when the kid said rip the band-aid off, I was like, and on the outside, I was like, okay, well, thank you for sharing your feelings with me. Let's sit down and talk with your father together. But on the inside, I was like, hell yeah, get your punk ass. Like I was so excited because just the thought of I would be at work and I'd be so ready. My home is my sanctuary. I'm not one of those people where I want to sit out in the car for hours, but I did that while he was still here. And I didn't like that. I want to be able to go home and chill. But the idea of like just knowing, even though he was on a completely different floor, we barely even saw each other. Like seriously. It was like knowing he was here. It was a weight of darkness, like a cloud, you know. So I was happy to see his ass go. And you mentioned something in your commentary about sharing stuff. This dude would, I'm trying not to curse, he would eat the food. He would eat up all the food. Wasn't buying any. So he would go through all the resources. I would recharge the resources every 2 weeks, and he would go through all of them, but he wasn't contributing.
Yeah.
So,
Stuff like that.
mm-mm,
Because things like that,
mm-mm.
will compound your anxiety. It's like
Yeah,
you're not helping or contributing to the situation, but you are negatively contributing to the situation by giving me a reason to have more contact with you. You understand what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I don't want to really see you, but I have to. I don't
Right.
really want to hear you, but I have
Forcing
to.
me in the position to have to say something to him.
Mm-hmm. But now, not only do I have to see you and hear you, now I have to actually exchange words with you because you're violating.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Listen,
yeah.
it doesn't matter if you have mice until they come out.
hmm
You know what I mean? The problem is they won't allow you to not see their asses. They could just hide. Like they have really good hearing. They could just jet every time they hear you coming, like, yo, let me get out of Dodge so this motherfucker don't see me. But that's not what they do. They be like, you know, that type shit. Like, you don't like it, go get a cat. You don't like cats either? Ha ha. Well, anyway, so even though somebody might not be trying to get under your skin that way, it's going to feel like they are. And it's quite possible that they are. It's quite possible that that's exactly what they're trying to do. And they are accomplishing that goal. So, it can really, really piss you off, but it can also make the situation worse and worse because you're trying to keep your decorum with the kids if there are kids there. Not only that, but you may be worried about your own personal safety. You don't know what's going to, in situations like this, you don't know how you may know how far you are close to how far or close you are to your wit's end, but you don't know how somebody else is. You know what I mean? You don't know if somebody is just poking at you or if they're seriously plotting on you. Like, am I gonna mess around and die in my home like on the ID channel? Or is this man or this woman just so childish, just so immature, just so petty that they just want to make my life hard because they feel like their life is hard? Regardless of how it goes, that's something that you have to live with, and it's a concern. It's real. It really is a safety concern, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So because you're essentially you're actually actively dealing with somebody that I don't want to say has become your enemy, but they're definitely not your friend.
Mm-hmm.
And for any relationship that you're trying to develop outside of that, the amount of explaining that you have to do in order to comfort them, if you're serious about hooking up with them, the amount of explaining that you're going to have to do to them to ensure them that, listen, no, I'm not just playing games with you. I'm not just trying to have you on the side, or I'm not playing around here. I just really want my stuff, and I don't want, it may sound like it's material stuff to you, but a lot of this stuff that we gathered over the years is near and dear to me. I paid for most of it, and I'm not willing to lose it on some old, common law, not common law, what do they call it? Community property settlement. Nah, I'm not doing that. Not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be a problem inside the home and definitely a problem outside the home if you're trying to have something. So it stands to reason to me why one or both people in the couple would probably just, put off trying to have a relationship, outside of the house. Like, nah, I don't want to put nobody through this mess because I'm going to be looking all crazy like I'm being dishonest, and I'm not. But you're probably thinking about it from if you were outside of the situation. Like, how would I look at myself if I wasn't me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so what am I supposed to
It's
do?
definitely.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's like, if I'm really serious about this person that's living with their ex, how serious can I get? Or am I being manipulated? Because a nigga like me, I ain't gonna front. This is how I would be thinking. She must be trying to force me to get her to let her move in with me. And it's a little early for all of that. You know what I'm saying? But, a lot of people feel like, well, you a man. If you really want a situation to move along, then, step up to the plate and make it move. Like, I can't just get a woman who has her own place. Like, you know what I mean? I thought that's what I was getting until I got the gory details.
Yeah. For me, I wasn't looking for a relationship. I usually aren't anyway, but I wasn't looking for a relationship. I met this person, and to add, an extra layer to it, he lives out of state. And I had to, have that awkward conversation in the very beginning. Like, listen, this is my situation. This is this is my situation. This situation is only going to be like this for what I thought was going to be a way shorter amount of time. Wound up being a year and 2 months, 3 days, and 14 hours. So I yeah, I was counting.
I'm like, what the hell?
But
Okay.
yeah, and I had to have that awkward conversation, and he was like, okay. And then he asked questions about, okay, do you guys sleep in the same bed? I'm like, no, we don't. We're not even on the same floor. He's like, oh, okay. So he understood that we weren't even on the same floor. I know that in the beginning, I could tell in the beginning that he was kind of, I don't know. I think he was just paying attention. So he would call me at all different times of the day and night. I think he was testing to see, you know, because if you're really not with somebody, you can't call somebody at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. So he would call me all kinds of ridiculous times while he would be at work, and I'd be like, "Hey, everything okay?" He's like, "Oh yeah, everything's fine. Just call to check on you. Anyway, talk to you later." And I was like, "Okay." And I'm so green that I didn't even realize who I was. I was like, "Wait a minute," And then I turned around and I asked him, and he was like, "Well, yeah, He was, I don't know what to believe. I mean, I know what you told me. You seem like an honest person, but still." And I'm like, oh, "Okay." And then I would visit him regularly. So it's like if this person is still with their husband, then they would not move in a certain way, and so that gave him more confidence. And he did want to take the relationship to a different level, um, but he was waiting for everything to be finalized. Well, actually, at the time, he was waiting for my ex-husband to sign all the papers. He kept ducking the papers, so that was a whole, you know, covert operation that we had planned in order for not the guy and I, but my kids and I, in order to get their father to sign the papers. So
Okay.
it was definitely something.
Yeah. And what he was doing, calling all at all times, I can't blame him if he's serious. Now, if you ain't serious about a woman, I don't see any reason to do all of that. You know, basically, the only thing you should do is just protect yourself and do whatever it is that you're going to do. And on an honest level, you know what I mean. I would say be honest about your intentions and all of that, just like you should be expected to be in any other situation. But you know, yeah, if you ain't really trying to be serious about a hookup anyway, then it probably wouldn't matter. Yeah, she might be telling the truth, she might be lying. All I want to do is make sure that her man ain't calling me, you know what I mean, calling my phone and looking for me and telling me that she's lying and that they really together and all of that. But nonetheless, it sounds to me like a very stressful situation. One
It
that,
was.
yeah, one that would definitely or should definitely keep both parties on notice, because you don't want to get into a situation where you are underestimating a person. You probably already been taking them for granted with other things and in other ways. But once you start talking about what a person ain't going to do and what they wouldn't do and what you wish they would do, and what you going to do if they ever do this, that, and the third, like, you might surprise yourself or get surprised. You know what I mean? Um, because that's, like I said, once again, I'll say it again, it's a safety concern. It's a security issue. You know what I mean? There ain't a
Yeah.
job alive, a job around that will fire you and let you still come on the premises and chill. It ain't gonna happen. You know what I mean? I don't give a shit if it's a public place like a fast food place or Walmart or something like that. You come shopping the next day after you got fired, they looking like, what you want from here? You know what I mean? It's a security
Yeah.
issue. It really is. You know your way around here. You know people who work here. You know what I mean? Like you are a security risk. You know what I mean? Yeah, we can't give you clearance here. You know what I mean? So to be living in your own house where it's a situation where you have released somebody else, you have put them on waivers, you have traded them to another team, and here they are back at practice. Like, why can't I practice here? I mean, yeah, all right, I understand I'm not getting in the game, but does that mean I can't stay in shape? I can practice.
That's really what it was like too. Oh my god. Oh god, it was really like that.
Man, hey, like I said, there aren't any other situations where you can do that. You know what I mean? In professional situations, you know, and at a lot of jobs, they have security escort your ass up out there. You show up the next day trying to go. What? You come the next day like I just want to use the bathroom. Oh no, you ain't. You're not using no bathroom. You gonna pee on yourself today? No. The last the last ex-employee who we let use the bathroom and shit made the news up in this bitch. No.
I'm so mad. I'm so mad at you. No lie. After the kids and I had the conversation, like, hey, this has been real. You know, we would feel more comfortable if, and if you were to make your exit. Um, he stopped by one day to come get the kids. Well, he said he was coming to get the kids, but then the kids were like, "Where are we going?" He was like, "Nowhere." And they were like, "Okay, well, this is awkward." And he was like, "Yeah, he came to the door and went to just walk right in." And we were like, "I'm sorry, what's happening right now?" And he was like, "Oh, I can't come in." And we were like, he's like, "What? I gotta use the bathroom." I was like, "I don't know what to tell you." No.
Yeah, you need a grace period.
No.
You need a grace period. Like, come back in like 90 days, 6 months. You know what I mean?
Where we were like, 12 days in. I was like, what's happening?
Yeah, no, that ain't working.
I don't even know if it was 12 days. I don't even know if it was 12 days for real.
Yeah. Did you change the locks?
No. Well, I changed the entire back door. Because my kids had the neighborhood that we live in. You can leave your back door open, and go in and out. You won't have to worry. But I changed the entire back door, and I did change the lock on the back door. The front door, he had already lost his keys. So he lost his keys, and so he didn't even have keys to the front or side door.
Okay.
Yeah. So so the locks have not been changed, but he can't get in at all.
Okay. Yeah.
But I was going to.
Hey, it's a sensitive situation. I remember my mom and my dad did it. They did the same thing for a while. When they decided to separate, they lived in the same house. My dad lived there, I want to say a couple of months. It's hard for me to really say because I'm not exactly sure of exactly when they decided to start sleeping in separate rooms. But when we came home, we went away. You know how you used to go away for the summer back in the day. You go down either wherever your parents were from. That's where you spent the summers at. You know what I mean? So everybody else went down south. We went up north. We went to Milwaukee for the summertime. 1981. And when we came back home, mommy was still sleeping in the parents' bedroom. But daddy was down in the front on the first floor. I was like, what the hell? You know what I mean? Like this whole time we were away the whole summer, the entire summer. You know, like school got out that Friday, let's say, and we were in Milwaukee by the next Friday. We was out and didn't come back until school was about to start. And there was a school strike that year. So we came back even later than we normally would have. You know what I mean? We would have normally have come back by like August, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. We didn't used to spend the whole summer. This time we spent the whole summer. My cousins was already back in school when we came back home. So yeah, we spent and come to find out they wasn't bringing us home because they was changing around the dynamics of the home. So when we came back, it was like, yeah, this is how it is now. Welcome home, kids. I'm like, oh shit. So, you know, that was weird. It was weird because honestly, I never thought my dad would submit to sleeping in another room. But you know, he was already planning his exit for good, which would come. He was gone by Christmas. I know that. You know what I mean? I believe he was gone by Thanksgiving. I believe so. I don't remember him being there then. Now, was he gone by Halloween? I can't remember exactly. But yeah. So I remember looking at this situation like, so y'all separated, y'all about to get the like, what's really going on? And so when he moved out, it was like, wow, this is really real. You know, this ain't just you know, you sleeping on the couch situation. You know what I mean? And
right, it was real.
Yeah, it was real. It was definitely real. And I'm not sure my mom was comfortable with that. I don't know how comfortable my dad was with it. But evidently things had come to a fever pitch and there was no turning back. There was no turning back. So yeah, this is a situation that I'm closer to than I would like to have been close to. But damn. You know what? I was trying to turn this mic up because the people in the chat said that they don't hear so well. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch back to the other mic. So tomorrow, because I think that this mic is better for when you're close up on it. But let me try this setting. All right. Any better? All right. I ain't gonna keep messing with this joint. Because I can turn up the gain, I can turn up the mic level, but I don't know how much that benefits y'all to be able to hear. All right, so I ain't gonna mess with a whole lot. I'll just switch back to one of the black mics. For the next show. But please bear with me. Please bear with me. All right, so yeah. Okay, cool. But yeah, it was a situation that I never really forgot. But it let me know how things can play out, whether you like the way that they are or whether you don't. these might be this might be or these might be situations that you might have to deal with at some time in life, and you might have to explain that to children, or even if you don't have to, even if you don't have children, you're going to have to explain the situation to somebody, because just like I said, it could be a safety issue. So you don't want to get into a situation where you are supposed to be separated from somebody, but you're living in the same house, so your living arrangements are a little unorthodox, and then something happens. God forbid it becomes a violent situation or an emergency situation of some other type, and then you have to explain everything to your peoples. Then you know what I mean. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
you need your your brothers or your sisters or your mom, dad, or whatever to come help you out, and they like, I didn't even know that y'all weren't this, that, and the third. Why didn't you tell us that we could have, it's just one of those things where it can escalate or develop into something way worse than it needs to be. So it's good to keep those lines of communication open, but it's an unorthodox situation and it can stunt your growth outside of the house while you might be trying to grow inside the house. And how do you really know?
Mm-hmm.
How do you really know that the other person wants to be separated? That's the problem. If neither one of you are seeing anybody else, the two of you might get horny separately, and then next thing you know, y'all ain't as separated as y'all supposed to be.
Yeah.
I swear, after this last time, you go back to your cave, and I'm going back to mine. Listen, I don't know about you. The sex was good,
Nope.
but there are no feelings in it. You know what I mean? It was totally physical for me.
Mm.
How about you?
I'm good, thank you, for my own saying. But
I
I have a
understand.
question for you. Um, how old were you when that happened with your parents?
11.
Oh,
11
okay.
years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, my kids are like 14, 13, 14, 13, I think.
Um.
So,
Yeah.
not much older than you.
I was young, but I didn't feel that young. At 11 years old, you might even come out your mouth to use certain words like back in the day. Like, what day do you have back? All of your days, all of the days you've been alive are current. You barely clearing a decade. But at 11 years
Mm-hmm.
old, all I know is that my mom and my dad had been together my whole life. That's all I knew. So
Right.
to see them separate, it was like, dang. And I've expressed
So
it
can
on.
I?
Well, let me just finish this. I've expressed on this show before, like I wanted better for my mom, but at that time, not yet. You know what I'm saying? Like at that
Mm,
time, the best thing for my mom was my dad. He just needed to get it together with her. And my
okay.
young mind, late once
Yeah.
they got separated fully, then I was able to think better. Like, all right, well,
Right.
you deserve better now.
Right. I think my kids went through that as well, where it was like, damn it, we would really love to see him step up and do what's right because our mom is a good mom, you know, being, you guys could be really, really great together. But, I think that was part of their frustration with their father.
Mm.
Um, that, it's just like, just go out and be great because you can be great, but you're making a choice not to. And, unfortunately, like I didn't realize that they had a clock on it. They were like, time's are ticking. There's a time on this. But I was going to ask you, and I thought there was a pause there. So my apologies, but I wanted to ask you, would you, what would have been the impact if you had come back home from summer vacation and he was gone completely? And I'm asking you this, as a parent. like sometimes I wondered if I did the right thing by trying to encourage a healthy transition because my kids didn't know a life without their father, without both parents.
Whew. You know, I could speculate on how I would have felt, but as far as I'm concerned, the situation was bad enough because I knew the end was coming. This it wasn't a situation where I thought that they were going to that at some point he was going to return upstairs. You know what I mean? I don't think I really thought that because shit had been going downhill for years. I just didn't really think that it would get to a fever pitch and actually have to have something done about it. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Mm.
But
Mm-hmm.
How do I think I would have handled how it would have been devastating because that would have been like, it probably would have been like finding out somebody that you love died suddenly. You didn't have a chance to say goodbye.
Right.
Probably. You know what I mean? Probably. That's all
Yeah.
I can probably relate it to. Damn near 41 years later, you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know how I would have handled that. I'm not
Right. Yeah. I asked my kids the same, and they said, because I was afraid of that. I didn't want to be like, just like, I wanted to take it out, like go and get, you know. But I was afraid of traumatizing the children any further than the stuff that they had witnessed, already. They had already witnessed that they had already witnessed domestic violence, verbal abuse. Like it was just, it just I didn't want to add to it. And then when I talked to them about it later on after he was gone, I said, how do you feel, and would it have been better for you if I had just asked him to leave completely from the jump? And they said, well, actually, not necessarily because I don't know. They needed to for them they needed to go through the motions in their own mind to settle in on the idea that he does not need to be here.
mm-hmm.
And I respected that.
Yeah.
So they appreciated the opportunity to to sort it out in their mind. Is to make
Mm-hmm.
sense of it all. I should say.
Yeah. Trying to make sense of it all is tough. It really is because with children children who grew up in two-parent families want to keep it that way. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you have a rebel child who'll be like, you know what I mean, you should you have a rebel. Sometimes you have a rebel child that favors one parent over the other parent. But for the most part, children are used to their parents being together. So your child to have braces back in the day. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like, yo, you can afford braces? Oh, you doing all right. But
mm-hmm.
but yeah, in terms of the direction that your life is going, when you are living with your ex, and listen, I've been exposed to all kinds of unorthodox situations. Like how you'll see questions online like if your baby mom or your baby or yeah, I've seen this one, and you probably have seen this one too. If your baby mom or if your baby mom didn't have anywhere to stay with your child, would you put them up, or would the way they normally ask the question? Let me clean it up. They're normally talking to women. If your if your husband's ex-wife or baby mom didn't have anywhere to stay with your child, would you let them stay at your house for a little while? And it's like, it's a controversial hot button type of topic where, a lot of people
With
be
the
like,
child.
yeah, like would you let your baby mom and the child be out on the streets, or would you put them up in your house? Sorry if I
Okay.
wasn't making
Well,
that clear.
hold on. Yeah, but well, my thing is this: once you add in and the child, but to me, unless that your ex is batshit crazy, well, you should the answer should be yes. But but if they are batshit crazy, and you say I would like my child,
That shit
and you can
crazy.
go stay with family.
Well,
you know.
the little twist to it is because a lot of people will say, well, no, my child can come stay with me, but the mom got to find her own way somewhere. And some people agree with that. Some people some people say no, that's not right, because then you're separating the child from their mother, and the child is going to resent you and all this old stuff. So it's like there are a lot of different ways
Well,
that you can.
that child has more than one parent. So, when people start talking like that,
Not according
it's
to
like,
a lot of
really?
women.
I know, but they're done. So it's just like, the child is not, a sweater you lent me. This is our child. It's not just your child. It's not just my child.
All right,
Ugh.
yeah, but nonetheless, this is often how the question plays out, and
Hmm.
it can be tough. It can be tough on a situation where you're trying to move on from a situation. It seems like you're reaching back. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I just remembered. So I was actually on the other side of this situation way before I was ever married. So I shouldn't say way before. It was probably like two, 2 or 3 years before I married my husband. I was dating this guy. Relationship was awesome. Like, oh my God, this is so great. And he had three little girls. They're like 7, 8, 9, no, 6, 7, and 8. And he and his ex-wife were living in two different states. And they had like this agreement where she would keep the kids until he finished his master's, and then he would keep the kids until she finished, got her degree. Except that when it was his turn to keep the kids, this is when he and I started dating. He found that it was too challenging for him. You know, everybody thinks they can do the job, so well until they're actually doing it. As far as being that parent that's there every day and it's just you. Fast forward, he and I had been dating for, I don't know, let's say a good 4 to 6 months of really, really great relationship. And then he decides to contact his ex-wife and say, hey, listen, I need help with the girls. Can you come and help me with the girls? So she moved from upstate New York to down 3 states to help him with their children. Now, and then he had to break the news to me. So he's like, "Oh yeah, my ex-wife is moving in with me to help me with the girls because I need help." And I'm looking like, okay. Well, and my antennas went up immediately. I was like, really? That's what we're doing? Wink, wink. She's helping you with the kids. Wink, wink. Now that's what I was. That's what I was thinking. He did ask me how I felt, but, so I told him this is how I feel. I don't know what to think because sometimes people don't know how to let go of the situation, and I don't know if that's what this is. We haven't been dating long enough for me to be able to tell.
mm,
Um, and then when she did come down, he didn't let me know. I said, well, let me know when she comes down. I'd love to talk to her so she knows who's been around, you know, her children. She and I had talked on the phone prior to her moving down, and then But I wanted to talk to her and be like, this is me. So she knew exactly who was around her children. And he didn't let me know exactly when she was coming down. I called his house one day and she answered the phone. I was like, what the hell? But that looks suspect. And then she puts him on the phone and he's like, yeah, I'll call you back. So he did that, every time I called for about a month. And I was like, okay, this is what we can't do. Like, so he was like, he's talking to me like this on the phone. I'm like, what? Are you in a closet? Like, what's happening right now? So the way it looked from my end, it really sounded like she was in a closet or in some dark corner whispering. And then I hear her in the background. Finally, she's like, "What are you doing? Like, you don't have to do that. Just go ahead and talk to her. Like, you're making it look like a certain way." And one day she said to me, "Listen, I need you to know there's nothing going on between he and I. I don't know why he's behaving this way." And I was like, "Well, I don't either." We wound up breaking up over it. It was just too much. I don't know. I didn't know why, like the motivation behind him behaving that way. So even though she was she was free and clear, something was going on with him emotionally that had him behaving that way, and I did not want to be anywhere near it. As much as I was into him, I was like, nope, no thank you, no thank you. I can't mess with that. So I tried to avoid the guy that I was dating. I try to make sure that he didn't feel that way with me.
Hmm.
I try to be as open as possible.
Yeah, you would think that that's the way people would want to play it, but that's what makes the situation even tougher because you're going to question the honesty or the integrity of the person that's living in this situation. Like it's bad enough that when you're starting a relationship with somebody, you already are going to have some trust baggage left over from whatever previous situations that kind of got under your skin or whatever. Now you're going to this situation that's looking like it's looking like you're just straight lying. You know what I mean? Like now, I don't understand
Yeah.
why her husband or her ex-boyfriend would participate in this lie, but maybe both of them trying to set me up for some reason. Maybe they think I got money. They trying to get me over the house to sacrifice me or rob me. I don't know. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not. It just doesn't sound like a good situation, and it might even make a person feel like it might even get into an immorality issue. Like I don't know if they really are divorced or, you know, you know how some people don't view a separation as a valid reason to be able to start dating again. Like, no, you're still married. I don't want to be messing around with a
Mm-hmm.
married man or a married woman. So until you're all the way divorced, me and you ain't got nothing to talk about. You know, although I might not personally feel that way, there's some validity to it because if you're not all the way
There
divorced,
is.
yeah, if you're not all the way divorced, at any time, y'all can just be like, you know what? I don't want to be separated or divorced anymore, and we're not. We ain't got no paperwork. A lot of people don't be legally separated. Only people who have money to lose be legally separated. Everybody else, they just be like, yeah, I'm still married. We've been married for the last 15 years. But you know it's a lot of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Old heads back in the day, they ain't divorced for shit. You be wondering how come they've been with such and such all these damn years and they never got married. Like, yeah, because you still are, goddamn. They done did, it's
Listen, I ain't have a bunch of money to lose. I had a house and my kids,
you had a bunch of
and
money to
I was
lose
like,
then. If you had
and
a house,
in the state of Pennsylvania, you do not have to have a legal separation. But I was like, sign here and here.
okay, okay.
You hear me? I wasn't trying to sign here and here because I did not want him to ever feel like whatever went on between whatever went on between he and I. I was like, I will never keep you from your children. I'm not that mom. I'm not that baby mom or whatever you want to call it. You know, that's not me. So I wanted it in writing that you can come get these kids whenever you are able, and as long as we have have an agreement, and don't come from my house that you haven't even paid not one mortgage payment on. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. So, but and then I made sure when he finally signed all of the papers, I made sure he signed all of the papers, every single filing, every single filing. So right there, in front of myself and the children.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
because they wanted to see him sign it. They said, no, we're going to sit right here. He was like, no, you guys can leave the room. They're like, we would rather stay because that settled something for them as well, not just me.
hmm. Well, I even though you may not look at it as you having a lot to lose, you maybe not in forms of cash, but you know how a house go. That could be hundreds of
Yeah,
thousands of dollars. It ain't
yeah,
sweet. That ain't no sweet thing to lose. You know what I'm saying? So once again, like I
yeah.
said, only people who get legal separation are people who have a lot to lose. Like, you know what I mean? If it's like, if your heart is only invested, be like, yeah, well, yeah, we separated. That just means like we don't live together no more. This motherfucker done took all his CDs, or whatever. His DVD collection, he took all that, whatever. But when you really have when you have assets, that's when you get the legal separation. You know what I mean? So to make sure that in court nothing else is up for dispute. Um, it it's a tough situation. It just makes it harder to really move forward. It can make it very hard to move forward when you still are carrying the monkey on your back of a previous relationship. It's tough. It's tough, and you got to do what you have to do. I totally get it. You got to do what you got to do, but just know that it can put a real strain on your ability to move forward and have a bright future with somebody or a loving future
Hmm.
with somebody. You know what I mean? Trust issues. You already came in dirty. You know what I mean? And let's say you do get into it, let's say everything plays out the way that you said it would, you know, and y'all get fully separated, living in separate houses, and you get with the person seriously that you were seeing when you were just separated from your spouse. And who's to say that that situation is not going to come up again? Like, well, you were seeing me while you were still married to your ex. No, I wasn't married to my ex. I was separated from my ex, and we were in divorce proceedings. We were no longer together. Oh yeah. Well, let's see the date on your divorce decree. Looks says here that y'all got divorced on the day we got together. We was together before this. Oh, so you mean so you admit that while you was married, you gotta get it down south on them. When a person say that they married, that's a way more serious commitment. You know what I mean? When you violate your marriage, you know what I mean? When a man and a woman is married, that's till death do you part. Married and all of that, that shit ain't gonna last. But when you married, that means there is definitely a right and a wrong in that situation. When you was married, a whole lot of people I know was falling in love and getting married. Yeah, and they
Marrett.
really is. It's like I thought it was like Mairid, married.
Oh, that works too.
Married. So um so yeah, it's just like I said, there are more examples of this that exist out here than people know about. This happens. You know what I mean? This clean break stuff and I never look back stuff, and sometimes you don't have to look back because it's right there.
That's true.
You know, you can look back later when we get this thing finalized. But for right now, I swear to God, you know, we might be married, but we don't go together. You know what I mean? We don't. I swear to God. That is not my girl.
Yo, we separated in like 2009, and I remember we were in the same house because we seriously neither one of us could afford, to go. Or we owned the house that we lived in, but still, she was dating this girl, and he had just got finished telling her, no, you have nothing to worry about. And I didn't know until her next comment because I walked by. I didn't know he was on video call with her. So she sees me walk by from the left side of the screen to the right side of the screen. Just, dinner's ready, and she's like, what's happening? Like, I thought you said I didn't have anything to worry about. And he's like, I gotta go. Dinner is ready. And she's like, this is not looking good. But we were still eating dinner with our children and stuff like that because they were little at that time. I felt bad for her. I'm like, no worries, don't worry about me. She's like, I don't know if I like this. And we did sleep in the same bed at that time. And I was like, this is not working. That made me feel uncomfortable. It's like we sleeping in the same bed, but we're not together. Like I don't want you getting any ideas in the middle of the night. So I don't want to get any ideas in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
So either one of us has to move out, or we're gonna have to work it out because when I want it. Just saying.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. The whole sleeping in the same bed thing. Whew, that's tough. Tough. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. That just puts more and more pressure on the situation. It just requires more and more explaining. Personally, I don't even know how you could lay down with somebody that you don't like anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That's a tough one, but it wouldn't be too much sleep with me. Like, what I mean? I could just see it. Like, no, we ain't gonna do this. We one at the foot, one at the bed, one at the head, one at the foot. No, get out the bed. I don't want to see your feet. I can't take it. You know. So yeah. Yeah, like we got to do this out of respect for our respective lovers outside of this. You know what I mean? Like maybe one of us shouldn't.
You don't think you would have the self control to not touch the person?
Yeah, but I don't want to be around anybody that I don't want to touch. Why would I sleep in bed with somebody I don't want to touch?
I know. I was just asking clarifying.
I mean, there are other.
You on that?
Yeah, I'm just saying there are other ways I could test my resolve, like putting my hand on a hot stove. You know what I mean? Like, or or drinking a gallon of mineral water without peeing for an hour. So something, some fresh challenges. And I know. Forget about sex. I don't want to be near you. You know what I mean? I still have to smell your scent and all that. Like, man, beat it. I'm not sleeping in this goddamn bed. Being you know how some people sleep naked. You gonna stop sleeping naked all of a sudden? You know what I mean? Meanwhile, you ready to sleep with your jacket on, just in case I have to leave in the middle of the night. Like, man, fuck all this. I'm on call at my job. You know how it go. So like your Timbs are getting the sheets dirty. In this COVID era, people be changing their clothes when they come in the house. They want to make sure that they don't bring none of the COVID germs in the house. Like, no, scratch all of that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? We doing the Mr. Rogers thing when I come in the house. We switching out from one outfit into another outfit. That's all. You know what I mean? So, all right. Listen, we gotta get on up out of here. But I appreciate you calling in, mucho, and thanks for the information. Problem. You really shed some light on this interesting situation. And I know people out there are familiar with this, but it goes the way it goes. You never know what life is going to offer you or present to you that you may have to deal with one day. This is not an attractive situation. It's not a favorable situation. But shoot, how many situations in your life come to you unexpectedly that are just the thing you've been covertly waiting for, wishing for? Yeah, this ain't one of them.
Well, thank you for letting me share.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate you, and you're very welcome. Talk to you next time.
Thank you. Have a good day.
All right. Great stuff there. All right. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious June 26th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them, making them feel special because they are special because they are special because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box, Erica J. Darby. And also, she's turning 51 years old today. And Jessica Roman turning 38 years old today. And Dawn M. Turner, happy birthday to you, Dawn. And Umi Jamar, my people's Umi Jamar, turning 60 years old today. And Dora Smith, happy birthday to you. And Alexandra Garcias, turning 26 years old today. And Monique Nicole, happy birthday to you. And Magali Jean, turning 33 years old today. And Marie Valera turning 29 years old today. 25 years old today. And Ogechi Kindness turning 37 years old today. And Candace Heels, happy birthday to you. And Chucky Hilton, happy birthday to you. And Super DJ Terrell Clark, happy birthday to you. And last but not least, Monique Hendricks. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all and anyone else out there who shares this birthday on this glorious June 26th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, rock out, rock on and do the damn, rock out, rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. And remember, man, sometimes I said sometimes you might be separated but still living together, and you may not be scratching your head and asking yourself, how the hell did I get into a situation where I'm apart from somebody but still together with them? Physically still together, emotionally apart, physically still joined, emotionally, maybe even spiritually and mentally separated. I don't know. Um, the best thing that we could probably do is to be honest with ourselves, number one, and honest with anybody else that might be involved in the situation after the fact when that presents itself. Because honesty is definitely going to be an element that is necessary in this situation, because you don't want to look like you out there playing anybody, and you definitely don't want to be in a situation where you're playing yourself. So be careful out there. Even physically, be careful out there. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. I love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. for a daily Go Get 'Emism show. I appreciate y'all coming through. I hope y'all enjoy listening to the show as much as I enjoy broadcasting it. Okay, so what we gonna do is get Blog Talk up out of here. Yeah, for you. All right, so yes, Blog Talk, yes. What we're gonna do is we say bye-bye. Yes, we do. And for my YouTubers, you know just how we do, but thanks for coming on through. See you on the other side, my boobers. And boo-boo the fool. Ow!